Yo, what is up, guys, and welcome to my brand new YouTube channel called Nick Neo Knockouts. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, the fight everyone is talking about, but who's really going to win? Today, we're going to break it down, strengths, weaknesses, and what could happen in the ring. And stick around to the end because I'm going to give you guys my full prediction. Anthony Joshua, he's only had 2 fights in the last 2 years against Francis Ngannou, who he absolutely destroyed, and Daniel Dubois, who got absolutely destroyed by. So the thing is, he hasn't really been active. He's only had 2 fights in 2 years. When we go to Jake Paul over here, he's had 6 fights since 2023 against Tommy Fury, Nate Diaz, Andre August, Ryan Borland, Michael Perry, Mike Tyson, Chavez, and now he's going to be fighting Anthony Joshua. And by one of those wins, he fought Mike Tyson. But the thing is, obviously, with Mike Tyson, he was pushing 60 years old, and it's not the same Mike Tyson. Because if it was the prime Mike Tyson, he would absolutely destroy Jake Paul in the first 10 seconds. So the thing is, AJ hasn't really been active, though. So the thing is, he's had some good wins early in his career until he lost to Usyk by split decision, which was a pretty close fight. All right, guys, so as you guys can see in the title of the tapes with the professional heavyweight bout is that Jake Paul is 28 and AJ is 36. So I guess that's kind of an advantage to Jake Paul because he's 28, which is younger. But then again, heavyweights do mature at a later age, so that's kind of iffy. Heights, it's a big one, 6'1" to 6'6", which is a 5-inch difference. Last fight, 200 pounds to 252 pounds, so AJ is going to be 50 pounds heavier. Reach 76 inches to 82 inches. That's a 6-inch reach difference, which is quite a long reach. 6 inches right there. Amateur fights 1 to 43. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. And the thing is, them 43 amateur fights have been, good tests for AJ, obviously, good competitive level. Pro fights 13 to 32. Yeah. The record is 12 wins and 1 loss, and that 1 loss is coming to Tommy Fury, while AJ has 28 wins and 4 losses. Olympia, no, with AJ being yes when he, won his amateur bout in 2012, I believe, with the Olympics. Yeah, golden medals, no. World titles 0 to 6. Delusional, yes. That's pretty funny. And no for AJ, and very rich. Both of them, obviously, they're going to be hella rich for this fight. I think it's reported they're going to be making around 200 million for this fight. I don't know if 200 million's correct or not, because 200 million is absolutely insane if it is. But yeah, they're both going to be insanely rich from this fight. All right, guys, so these are the rules with Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. It is announced that it's going to be happening in December 19 in the Kaseya Center in Miami. And basically, what the rules are, it's going to be that the fight is scheduled for 8 3-minute rounds. It's going to be a sanctioned professional bout, unlike the Gervonta Davis exhibition, because Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul were way different weight categories. I think it was something maybe like a 60-pound weight difference. So obviously they couldn't sanction that to be a professional fight, so it will be a professional this one, though, unlike the other fight. Paul and Joshua will be wearing 10-ounce gloves, okay, so that is pretty heavy, and the only stipulation is that Joshua cannot weigh more than 245 pounds, and Joshua was weighing around 245 pounds against Usyk, so his normal walk around weight is around 252, maybe somewhere around there, so he's only going to lose around 6-7 pounds, and yeah, 245 definitely should not be that much of a difference. I think 8 3-minute rounds for Joshua should be beneficial, actually, because he's probably not going to exert himself and he's going to knock him out. So he's not going to have to put a lot of energy into it. But who knows? I don't think the fight's going to last that way anyway. And the thing is, people have a lot of opinions about, YouTubers, boxing and stuff. But the thing is, you got to respect Jake Paul, man. I mean, the thing is, he went from fighting absolute nobodies, YouTubers, NBA, stars, UFC fighters to, normal boxers. And the thing is, nobody asked him to fight Anthony Joshua. And he decided, hey, I'm just going to go to the other side of the table and I'm going to pick the biggest, strongest, baddest guy. And he picked Anthony Joshua, which is absolutely insane. All right, guys, so this is going to be my prediction. Can Jake Paul beat and KO Anthony Joshua? Of course he can. These are heavyweight fighters, and all it takes is 1 punch. But do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not. What I do think is going to happen, however, is Anthony Joshua is probably going to KO Jake Paul. And I'm going to say definitely the first 3 rounds. I'm gonna say round 3. I will give Jake Paul some credit. I do think he could survive longer than Francis Ngannou, but I do think AJ is just way too big, way too experienced, and way stronger than Jake Paul. I think that Jake Paul's illusion, carried him for a lot of his fights, but I think sometimes, you bite off more than you could chew, and I just think that Jake Paul, he's not going to be able to do anything against Joshua. I think Anthony Joshua is going to be by round 3 KO. But you know what, guys? So who's your pick? Will Jake Paul shock the world again, or will Anthony Joshua prove why he's the heavyweight champion? Comment your prediction below. Smash that like button. And if you guys are hyped, don't forget to subscribe for a post-fight analysis right after this fight and way more videos coming up soon.